Good afternoon. My name is Christy, and I hope you're looking forward to this final week of class. This week we will be discussing immigration and multiculturalism in Ireland. Ireland has a long history as a country of significant immigration or mass departure. Traditional destinations include the UK, US, and Australia. Between 1871 and 1961, the average annual net immigration from Ireland exceeded the natural Irish population increase. Immigration shrank from 4.4 billion in 1861 to 2.8 million in 1986. The roots of the immigration decrease can be traced back to the 60s and the multinational corporations that came to dominate the economy of the Celtic Tiger. This resulted in 400 multinational corporations in Ireland in the 60s alone. Today, there are over 1,000 that have chosen Ireland as the best location for their manufacturing outlets. The declining power of the Catholic Church over the last 50 years also played a role in the improved economy, culture, and politics, and encouraged immigrants to feel free to engage in other religions. From 1990 to 94, Ireland was the only member state with a negative net migration rate. Also, unemployment declined from 15.9% in 93 to a history low of 3.6% in 01, which encouraged migration. Ireland's economic boom in the 1990s brought unprecedented levels of prosperity and helped transform Ireland into a country of net immigration by the early 2000s, but most markedly by the 04 EU enlargement. And this is a picture of Dublin. Because Ireland experienced a significant inflow of migrants, both asylum seekers and workers, many policies were developed in a short time span. And some of the policies are listed below. They had a list of safe countries of origin. It was developed, and applications were prioritized according to if they felt that they were safe or not. From 03 to 05, citizens changed their laws to eliminate an Irish-born child's automatic right to citizenship when the parents are not Irish nationals. They moved away from the more liberal work permit systems. They agreed to allow citizens from the 10 European unions to work in the country immediately. And they instituted trickier policies that favored highly skilled immigrants from outside of the European Union. From 1996 to 2006, Ireland's population increased 1.6% annually, the highest population growth in any EU country, which created a shortage in labor since about 2000. At that point, the government began actively recruiting workers from other countries. And there was an increase in non-national living in Ireland. It went from in 2002, it was 224,000, and it increased to 420,000 in 06. These immigrants came from 188 different countries. This total does not include undocumented immigrants. This is a table showing the presence of people from other countries living in Ireland from 06 to 03 to 06. It's important to note that the percentage either stayed the same or increased during this 3-year period. There was a shift from non-EU immigrant flows to EU flows after the EU enlargement from 04 to 07. Flows peaked in 06 and 07 at well over 100,000 immigrants per year, with 1 in 10 Ireland population being born outside of the state. This was due to the economic boom, culture, and politics when the Celtic Tiger was born, and Ireland became another branch of the globalized world economy. In 2007, Ireland had the third highest migration rate across the 27 EU member states, 14.5 immigrants per 1,000 inhabitants. This was surpassed only by Spain and Cyprus. Reduced but still significant new immigration in between 07 and 09, the fall largely resulted from decreased flows from the new EU member states. In 2011, 7.5 million people, approximately 13% of the population, were born overseas. Interesting facts for you. Unlike the United States, Ireland does not have land borders with migrant sending countries. Therefore, illegal immigration is likely to be very low. The easiest access for illegal entry is by going into the Northern Ireland, which may be easily accessed from the UK. There is no passport controls from the Irish and UK citizens between the two countries due to the Common Travel Area Agreement. Beginning in 1965, the US actually banned Ireland immigrants from entering into our US borders. However, non-EU nationals are required to obtain a work permit in order to become employed in Ireland, and I have a brief video for you. I think you'll enjoy this.
Sam Lally. I'm a consultant at workpermit.com. Today we're going to have an immigration update for the Irish immigration system. Ireland has traditionally been a net immigration country. More people have traditionally left Ireland than have emigrated to Ireland. That has been changing over the years. Ireland is being seen as an increasingly important immigration destination. As Ireland becomes richer, more and more people are needed for the Irish economy. The Irish system has been changing and evolving over the years. The latest system was introduced at the beginning of this year. The new system has an Irish green card work permit that wasn't there before. It enables higher level people to emigrate to Ireland much more easily than before. The Irish green card work permit scheme is for higher level people who have a job offer of €60,000 or more. If you are at that level, then it is easier to emigrate to Ireland. You can go to Ireland for up to 2 years with a job offer. Either yourself or the employer can apply. After 2 years, you can apply for permanent residence in Ireland. So the Irish Green Card Work Permit Scheme is an excellent way of emigrating to Ireland on a permanent basis. The Irish Work Permit Scheme is somewhat more difficult to get. It has become a bit more straightforward in some respects. However, it is restricted only to the employer. Only the employer can apply for an Irish work permit. The Irish work permit is valid for 2 years. It is restricted to a single employer. The employer has to show that they can't find somebody else to do the job. They have to engage in labour market testing. So it is somewhat more restrictive, and there is no path to permanent residence as such under the Irish Work Permit Scheme. If at all possible, you should try to come under the Irish Green Card Work Permit Scheme instead of the Irish Work Permit Scheme. And in fact, the Irish immigration system encourages you to, if possible, apply under the Irish Green Card Work Permit Scheme.
Okay, the next screen. Ireland prefers to work with a system based on job offers and skills shortage areas rather than quotas or points-based systems such as the UK does. And we just spoke about that on the video. Ireland has set up a system divided into the following categories. We spoke of the first two in the video here, and hopefully we can get into addressing maybe a little of the other three later in the week in our discussions. In most recent years, immigration has become one of the most important economic and social issues facing Ireland. The impact of immigration has been shown to be a negative for the GNP, but a positive for the GNP, but a negative for the average wage growth. In the last 10 years, Ireland has passed several laws aimed at combating illegal immigration. These laws provide a legal basis for deporting non-nationals in violation of immigration laws, banning the smuggling of such immigrants. It financially penalizes or imprisons employers and workers who do not comply with the Employment Permits Act of 2003, and these are a few of the laws and policies that have been put into place. Most Ireland immigrants suffer from the following issues. As you can see, the list here goes on and on. Mainly the discrimination that they feel that in the job market. They are generally high educated, but their levels of employment do not reflect those high levels of education. They have a higher unemployment rate. I saw some videos in my research of them in lines wrapped all the way around buildings trying to get in the unemployment line. They have a lot less rights. They are denied promotion in favor of the Irish, and so on and so forth. You can see the list here. Their employers tend to try to control them pretty harshly as well. So still, things are much better for the immigrants of Ireland than they once were, and the immigrants tend to adapt to their surroundings and settle down and take roots. So they feel that multicultural Ireland is here to stay. Recently, Ireland faced a new set of policy issues with reduced but still high immigration rates and a substantial population of legal foreign residents. These issues include rising unemployment rates among immigrants and nationals of Ireland, and there's stress on the social welfare system. This is a short YouTube video that I wanted to share with you guys. Sorry about that.
Like more than 100 others, Bimpé Oladapupo and her 6-year-old daughter Sophie are signing on at the emergency school because there's nowhere else to go. In some areas, Ireland schools are full to the brim. The fact that it's black children who are missing out has raised suggestions of institutional racism.
I like to see a mix of children. I think it's good because, it's good to mix everybody together so that we can become one.
A total of 120 pupils will be taught here. Government ministers insist that the school's crisis is a result of bad planning rather than racism. But critics say it's another example of Ireland's infrastructure failing to cope with a booming economy and a rapidly diversifying population. More than 25,000 Africans have settled in Ireland since the mid-1990s. Most arrived as asylum seekers. Many now have citizenship, but they complain that Ireland's predominantly Roman Catholic school system discriminates against them on the basis of religion. The emergency school in Balbriggan, a North Dublin suburb, has been set up by a charity called Educate Together. It provides an alternative to faith-based education.
We as an organisation and as people have a vision of children growing up together and learning together, we would like to see much more diversity within the school population. And it's a huge concern really to us that 95% of the population of the school is black.
As last-minute preparations went ahead, immigrant support groups voiced concerns.
If they don't handle this in a better way, maybe not in a year, maybe not in 2 years, but later, there will be some clashes. Exactly what happened in France, because people are not mixing up. There's no dialogue. People are not discovering each other's.
Ireland is desperately trying to keep pace with its changing character. The government has just appointed a minister for integration, but experts say it needs to respond more quickly to avoid further problems.
There has been a very poor planning by the Department of Education, that it was clear that we were going to have a lot more kids entering the educational system this year, 6-7 years ago. This was predictable. So they did not put in place the infrastructure in time. So we are seeing problems.
Okay, this speaks about the culture and what is actually within Ireland. You can see the numerous different cultures here. And then the Irish Times recently reported that since the mid-1990s, Ireland's went from a largely monocultural society to a very multicultural one. More than 10%, or 400,000 people who reside in Ireland, were born outside of the state. Nearly 330,000 were born in America that now live in the Republic. Over 80,000 people are from Asia and Africa, and 20,000 from Romania, and over 10,000 from Russia. It has been said that Ireland is a melting pot of its own. And then I have my sources here. I have really enjoyed getting this together. I learned a lot, and I hope you do as well. Looking forward to working with you in the following week. Thank you so much.